How to master MCAT, Biochem multi-step pathways. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle where each piece connects to another, forming a bigger picture. That's what understanding multi-step biochemical pathways is like for the MCAT. It's all about seeing how different reactions link together to keep our bodies running smoothly. To get good at this, start by mastering the basics. Know how enzymes work, what makes a substrate specific, and how energy moves through reactions. When you understand these core ideas, pathways become less intimidating. Focus on the major metabolic routes tested on the exam, like glycolysis, the citric acid cycle, and the electron transport chain. Learn each step, the enzymes involved, and what each substrate and product is. For example, know that in glycolysis, glucose is broken down into pyruvate through 10 steps, with enzymes like hexokinase and phosphofructokinase. Use visual aids like pathway maps to see how intermediates flow from one process to another. For instance, understand how the pentose phosphate pathway produces NADPH and ribose 5-phosphate, which are key for biosynthesis and antioxidant defense. Recognize the regulatory points in each pathway, especially the irreversible steps. These are often controlled by allosteric regulation or feedback inhibition. For example, phosphofructokinase in glycolysis is a major control point. Practice drawing these pathways from memory and explaining each step aloud. When you face complex questions, break them into smaller parts. Trace how substrates move through the pathway, what enzymes are involved, and how cofactors like ATP or NADH are used or produced. Connecting pathways helps too. Know how the citric acid cycle links to fatty acid oxidation or amino acid metabolism. Think about how these pathways respond during fasting or exercise. This helps you see the bigger picture and prepares you for clinical questions. Remember, understanding regulation is key. Know how phosphorylation or allosteric effectors turn pathways on or off. Practice questions that ask you to identify which enzyme is regulated or which step is irreversible. Use active recall by drawing pathways repeatedly and explaining them without looking at notes. This cements your memory and helps you recognize patterns. Also, study how enzyme defects can cause metabolic diseases. This clinical angle makes pathways more meaningful and easier to remember. To sum up, master multi-step pathways by building a strong foundation in enzyme function and bioenergetics, memorizing key steps and enzymes, visualizing how pathways connect, understanding regulation points, practicing active recall, and linking biochemistry to real-life physiology. This approach will make pathways less confusing and more manageable on test day.